and keep the adults away. Then children in the age group of 6 to 14 will self-organize and extract a lot of learning out of that connected device. And now this hypothesis we've evolved over a period of time, refined and sharpened. But there is very, very strong evidence that if you have a connected device and of course improve the interfaces, put some content at the back, or just add it to the internet, then small groups of children will extract learning without any teacher's help. In fact, we make a rule that there should be no adults there, and it's done interestingly by making the make a little kiosk. You have windows, and then between the wall and where the kids stand, you put a little iron metal thing with a kind of a bench, but it's so close to the wall that if you're above a certain age, you can't sit there. It's sort of your knees get in the way. So a lot of things like that to create a situation where there's no supervision, no teachers. And then we've done it next to various schools, and now there's data coming in which shows evidence that such schools are reporting, the teachers are reporting that children are performing better in their mainline subjects. So the concept of playground learning centers, what we're saying, in primary schools is now, there is enough evidence to say it can work. So children in school not getting enough attention, not getting enough teachers, because we have all the data coming that 1/3 of the teachers don't teach, they don't attend, all of that. But clubbing that with something which kids love to do, and the power of curiosity, and connected with some devices, with some content, and indeed that their academic performance improves, is for kids in school. But we have more than 40 million kids who are not even in the school. So they're sticking it maybe in the school compound, the wall outside, or creating a little enclosure where children can play. So there is very interesting, I think there is very interesting results coming from the Highwell project. And now we're trying to scale it, because the first project which I talked about with the government base, in this case, our goal actually is to reach a point where it becomes a self-sustaining model. With a little coin box, you put a coin and you learn. That's where we'd like to reach. But it is currently getting funded by us, many people also outside the NIT system. And we also have some scale projects. World Bank has funded one of those in 25 locations from Kanyakumari till Ladakh, all situations, all climatic conditions, all ethnological diversity and so on. And now we're also doing one in the slums of Jaipur. That's being done with the Michael Dell Foundation. 200 kiosks will cover about 60,000 kids. And we're trying to put content also on health, preventive health and so on and so forth. So this is an experiment. I call it an experiment because there's much to learn. We've taken it out along with the Ministry of External Affairs to countries in Africa, to Cambodia. And there's a whole lot of researchers who are trying to see how do we improve the interface, how do we put content, how do we deal with the social factors, so that children without teachers, if they have to learn, is there a role technology can play? I think that's the problem we're trying to solve, to say that there are schools, yes, do something in the schools, but there are kids outside school and we have to find a solution as an IT industry. And this is giving us very promising results, and we continue to work on this. And then finally, something we started this last year in one of the small towns, and this is Minister Kamal Nath's constituency called Chhindwara. We used to run an NIT center there many years ago, but it wasn't viable, so we shut it down many years ago. And so his concern was, look, if you just look for viability, then how will you engage and how will you make it inclusive? And our point was that maybe we have to keep working at creating viability, because things have to be self-sustaining. So we are creating a viability gap funding concept to say that, okay, till such time as cost reach a certain level or value is perceived, you have to do a viability gap funding. And this project which we are doing, which we call a district learning center in Chhindwara, we started in October. We started working on it last year, but we launched it in October. It's a public-private partnership model, and I think this will become sustainable quickly with this model. So what happens here is that in this particular case, there was one building with some 5 or 6 rooms which had been made as a nurses training center, which was abandoned. There was nothing happening. So the state government put that as their contribution on the table. From NIT side, we're also setting up a non-profit university. So the university actually, their researchers are working on this. So they refurbished it, then some of us as founders in the company gave the capital, took care of the capex. And now our thing is that the operating expenses, we wanted to involve the beneficiaries, which are employers, which is our industry. So already we have NIT Technology, which is a software company, which we have TCS, Infi, IBM, ITC Infotech, Suzlon, energy company, but interested in supporting this, and a couple of others. So our idea is to get for each of these DLCs, which can take about 350 students in a current model in a year, about 10 participant companies, and each company will have to do two things. One is they'll have to give a scholarship to a set of kids. So we're saying 30 kids per company, kids, the students, the people who study in very often done a graduate degree, and then they will hire them. I think the second part is the more important part, because these kids are really bright, but their social skills are weak, and their confidence is very low. So what these 10 companies have agreed in the first instance, and we've had to cajole and push and do arm twisting and all of that, is that if you hire tens of thousands, will 30 make a difference? So we volunteered from NIT Technology itself. The first 32 batches, we keep in the class size only 16 to give attention. So the idea now is that the first set of students will be coming out in the 6-month program in March, and NIT, our software company, will be taking the first 32. And our HR people, so what we've really done is these 10 companies have really come forward to say, okay, let's understand what you're doing. We are asking them to come and interview the students when we select them for the course, to say, leave aside their social gap, social skills gap. Assume that in 12 months we'll build it up to a large extent. But look for the basic aptitude, look for the basic mentality, look for the, whether they are capable of learning what you have to teach them. And the quick first response, which doesn't surprise anybody, is that they really are willing workers. I think that's what our HR people are saying, that these brats in the cities who keep changing jobs, it's a relief to come and see these kids who are so keen to work. So the attitude they find is very positive, and they're willing to give a lot of marks for that in reports. Obviously the intellect, there's a kind of a normal distribution. And we are taking more time, we're keeping the classes smaller. From NIT side, the most advanced technologies we've created in 26 years. We recently launched something along with IIM, I don't know if you're familiar, which uses synchronous technology. The professors in IIM teach students everywhere else. All these technologies have been put in this place. And our goal is to see how we now do value engineering to build a model. Because if each district can have 3 or 4 of these and we build a model, and each can take 300 to 400 people, then it goes to a couple of 100,000 people a year, which is another reasonable scale that we can get. So these are a couple of experiences I thought I'd share with you.